Hey guys, we got our 2025 4Runner here. We're going to be installing our Pro Rack on it. Stay tuned. All right, we have our Pro Rack laid out here on the ground like we usually do. And we got our main rails, and these should be 3 pieces, 2 pieces for the inside and then the main rail. And then we should have 9 crossbars going across, 3 mounting feet, and then all the mounting hardware and bolting together hardware for this rack. And we want to make sure to lay those out and make sure we have all the hardware that's supposed to come with the kit before we get started on it. All right, first step is putting our mounting feet on, and they are labeled, so it's 1 up front, 2 in the middle, 3 in the back. The front does have a 3M double-sided tape, so we want to put that on first. And then we're going to bolt these on, and then we're going to set our main rail up on the vehicle. That way we can mark our weather stripping and cut that out for the front mounting foot. All right, before we put on the crossbars, we're going to take the main rails and bring them over and set them on here. And the front pad, you're going to have to cut this roof trim for that pad to actually sit on the vehicle. First, we're going to take off the stock rack. And to do that, you got to take off these plastic covers first to get to the hardware underneath. And that you pry up on the sides and then pull up on the front. And you got to use some force, but they should pop off. All right, now that we got our covers off, we can get access to our 12mm bolts, and there should be 8 of them holding this whole rack on. And I recommend using a ratchet to take these off. You don't really want to use an impact. All right, before we put our roof rail up, we're going to put on our 2 rubber washers and then our spacers on top of that. We also brought our bolts up here so we can set it on and bolt it on, and that'll give us the correct height. And from there we can mark where on this weather strip we need to cut. And then we can set our rail up on there, make sure it's all lined up, and then we can measure out 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch in front and behind the feet and mark that with a marker, and then we can pull this rail off, go get our cutters and cut that weather stripping. All right, before we take this weather stripping off and cut it, we also marked the back, so when this section is cut out, we can get this in the exact same spot as it was before. All right, I had the hardware already laid out and I put thread locker on that. You want to put that on and make sure your bolts don't rattle out while you're going down the trail. Now we can start assembling our rack to be put up on the vehicle. All right, we got our wind deflector, our silver crossbar, and our trim. These T-nuts, we just slide them in the slots, and then I use a screwdriver to kind of line them up and get them close before we set the wind deflector on there. Then we just use the shorter hardware, and these are also 5/32 to bolt this wind deflector down. right, before we set this rack up here, we want to fill up our spacers all the way up with this provided gasket maker. And then once we have that full, we can set the rack on, and then we can put our bolts on and bolt it all down. Hey guys, there it is, our Pro Rack installed on our new 2025 4Runner. It looks great and we can't wait for you guys to get your hands on them. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and we'll see you out on the trails.